Welcome to Seasonal Stays and Campfire Days. I'm your host, Josh, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the app Outdoorsy. Now, today's episode is also going to be a little bit different because I actually am interviewing someone, a buddy of mine. His name is Wrong Way Dave. Me and him did heavy haul all over the country with massive buildings and everything, but he also used the Outdoorsy app, and I was the one that kind of got him to go and use it. So we're going to be interviewing him in just a minute, but before we do that, I want to just clarify what the Outdoorsy app is. And with saying that, the Outdoorsy app, it allows you to go and rent people's campers that put them up on the website. Now, it could be for a couple days, it could be for a night, and it also could be for months at a time. But the Outdoorsy app basically will allow you to go rent their campers. And there's usually three options that happen. You pick your camper kind of near your destination. You pick your camper local to where you're living. Or what happens is that you can request that the renter, or I guess is it the rentee? Who's ever renting the RV to you will go and set up the camper at the site and everything. So it's a really good app. So I have used the app before. I've used it one time. It was a smaller trailer that we ended up renting. It was a Rockwood Roo, and a decent trailer, good experience. Very, very easy to actually rent the trailer, and actually really good feedback from the renter. So that was all positive stuff. But now I want to go ahead and I want to get into the main video here, and that is going to be with Wrong Way Dave. Now, really quick before we go over to Wrong Way, we are not sponsored by Outdoorsy at all. All of our opinions are our own, and we just had a really good experience with them, and we want to let you know about it as well. So on the phone with me right now, I have my buddy, Wrong Way Dave.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad. How about yourself? Keeping warm out there in North Carolina?
Oh, I'm staying a lot warmer than you are.
Yeah, pretty much everything out here has been just completely frozen.
Oh, yeah. I feel sorry for you. I'm enjoying nice sunny weather right now and 40 to 50 degrees tomorrow. How about that?
Hey, that sounds great. That sounds way better than just single digit anything right now.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get you on the phone because I know that I had kind of turned you on to the idea of using Outdoorsy for when you came up here to go and visit. It was your uncle, correct?
Yes. My uncle and my aunt was having a family reunion, and we don't particularly like staying in their damp, cold basement because that's where their extra room is. And so that year, we just wanted to do something different. And I was asking about, RV rental.
Okay.
And you introduced me to the Outdoorsy and the Outdoorsy app, and I started doing some research, and they seem to be a very legit site. So I started looking for RVs that I could rent.
Perfect. So that kind of brought me into my first question, which was, how did you hear about Outdoorsy, and what made you choose it over other options? Which, I mean, I don't think that we really talked about other options. I think I just kind of told you about it. Wasn't that right?
You're right. We did not talk about other options. You just kind of told me about it, and I done a bit of research and everything before I'm putting my money into any sort of app. I'm researching them, right?
Right.
And after asking around, I've asked quite a few people about them, and then I've done some reading on them and everything, and they seem to be legit from all the information that I gathered.
Right. What was the process like for finding and booking this RV in particular? Now, I know that you got kind of got one of the smaller ones, right? So then you could fit it in your uncle's driveway.
Yes. So I needed something that would fit into my uncle's driveway, and his driveway is only 75 foot long, but he has his own vehicles as well.
Right.
Okay, so that let me down. I can't do more than 30 feet, right?
Right.
So now I'm down to like a two-person, four-person camper. All right, about 26 feet. All right, and the process was super simple. It had me choose my location as to where I'm going to camp.
Right.
And then it come up with listings of nearby. It also had an option of renting nearby my own home, other than renting nearby where I was going, my destination.
Right. So at that point, then you would have had to, if you booked an RV that was close to your house, then you would have had to haul it all the way from North Carolina all the way up here to Illinois.
Yes, and I also would have booked something different, like a toy hauler, because I had my motorcycle with me. I wanted to enjoy a ride with my uncle and my buddies with my motorcycle. So the option of finding a toy hauler close to me really was on a slim pickings.
Right.
And so I discovered that it would be better to take the bike up there on a separate trailer and then get a camper that was nearby my destination.
Right, and that was kind of the nice thing about Outdoorsy, because you were able to look and book an RV right here in Illinois. So
yes,
that put a lot less wear and tear on your vehicle, because you, when you went up to Illinois to go pick up the camper, you used your own truck.
Yes, I used my own truck. I unhooked the trailer of the motorcycle at my destination, and then the camper was actually only 6.5 miles away from my destination.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's nice and close.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I couldn't beat that, because it beat hauling a camper all the way. That's over 1,400 miles.
Right, that's 1,400
and
miles.
It would have cost. It would have cost another $480 in fuel.
Right. Yeah. Especially going through the mountains and everything where you're coming from.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right.
So when you were booking this RV, or even before, did you have any concerns that you needed to, or did you just have any concerns about either using the app or trying to look for an RV or something?
Well, my biggest concern was, am I going to make this booking and then I get screwed out of my money?
Okay.
And that was my biggest concern. But after doing my research and talking around to other people who has used it and everything, and they reassured me that it was legit, and I went on the word of others and my own research to determine the risk factor. Okay, so
right.
It did require a deposit, and then when I picked it up, it was half the amount, and then when I dropped it off, it was the other half.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, that was pretty much the same way that it happened with me too. Let's see. I had a couple questions for you. I have them all pulled up on my my screen here. I'm kind of bouncing around now. Because okay. you went and you went and answered like half my questions right away. Like,
well, I'm sorry for jumping the gun.
No, you're totally fine. I mean, it's nice because it's we're getting that experience right from you. Here's something. Did you run into any issues with the RV while you had it?
Did I run into any sort of issues while I had it? We had it for several days, I believe.
Okay.
And the cost was like $100 a night or something like that. But I had absolutely no issues with the RV. When I picked it up, the owner went over everything with me as far as how everything works, including black water tanks and the freshwater tanks. He went over all of that stuff with me. Yeah, see, that's a good thing that he went over all that stuff, especially with the tanks. Yes. Well, as an unexperienced RVer, I mean, you can go out there and go get you an RV And some dealerships won't even show you anything, and you just kind of like on your own.
Right. You just have to
Right, well,
kind of
this
figure
owner-
things out.
This owner took the time to show me everything, every aspect about it, how to level it, how to stabilize it, everything.
Right.
And then when it come time to hook it up to my truck, he even give me the anti-sway control
Yeah. Do you think
to
that
hook it onto my hitch.
Do you think because you've pulled trailers before, pretty decently heavy trailers. I'm not talking about the semi trucks, just pulling trailers with your truck. Do you think that having the anti-sway and the leveling hitch, do you think that actually made a difference while pulling it?
I really don't know because I only pulled it 6 miles and I didn't have a single little bit of swerve to it, and I've never pulled a camper that particular size without an anti-sway either.
Okay.
So that was my first experience with an anti-sway bar hookup.
Okay, so yeah, you didn't have any problems with that then. That's great.
I didn't have a single problem. I didn't have a single concern. Once I was hooked up, I was confident that I could operate the RV, stabilize the RV, and live in it for 7 days. I was confident.
Right. Did you feel like the cost of renting through Outdoorsy was reasonable?
I do feel like that the cost of renting it was reasonable compared to campground sites and hotels.
Right.
Hotels in the area at the time were charging $130 a night. All right, but it was also 3 miles away from my aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the campground was charging about $40 a night, and so I saved myself money by parking it in my uncle's driveway.
Right, and then
He
whole thing we call
the
that
electrical
boondocking.
hookup.
Right. Yeah, we
call that boondocking.
Actually,
okay.
Because you were because what you were when you were hooked up to. Did you have water hookup too?
No, I did. I opted not to hook up for the water.
Okay, but
because
you had.
I did not want to. I did not want to dirty up the tanks.
Okay, but you did have electricity though in there.
Yes, we had electricity, and it was a 30 amp hookup, and the owner had supplied all of the cords and hookups that we possibly needed.
Right. So instead of boondocking, what that is called mooch docking.
Mooch docking. Okay.
Mooch docking.
All right. I was not aware of that term.
Yes. So boondocking, that's just where you're out there with nothing. You're completely self-sufficient. Mooch docking is mostly just you're camping in someone's driveway.
Mooch docking, okay.
It makes sense, right?
Very clever. Clever.
So with this rental, were there any hidden fees or unexpected expenses?
Absolutely not, because the entire site was totally up front. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a deposit. And I think it was like a 25% deposit.
Okay.
And then they said we're going to get half of it when you pick it up, then the other half when you return it. And the owner reports back to us as far as everything's all good with no damages or anything like that.
Right.
And so that's what, and they told me that straight up front, and so I took their word for it, and that's the way it happened.
Because of this experience, do you think that you would rent again, or do you think that owning an RV would be a better option if you were going to go RVing again?
I think that I will give the rental another chance before I actually go out and purchase my own, because I really, really want my own.
Right.
But if I really want to get out and go somewhere like now, then I'm going to leave that rental option open.
Right.
I mean, it was cost effective, it was convenient, it was all there, and it was a great experience. The whole time I had the RV, I didn't have a single problem with nothing.
I would assume that you would recommend this to other people, correct?
Well, yes. And this is probably one of a few that I would recommend. If you don't know about buying an RV, because you know what? Them salespeople at them RV dealerships are pushy.
Right.
And then they're going to pile on a bunch of junk fees and everything. And it's really a headache to kind of deal with a pushy salesman who don't really care about you. But if you want to get the RV experience and you can't really afford to buy one, then the Outdoorsy app I would highly recommend the Outdoorsy app to rent you one. Even if it's just for a couple of days and you only go maybe 30 minutes away from your house to a local campground.
Right. And
I would totally recommend that.
Right. And you know what, this kind of goes on the same thing too. It's like, if you find on the Outdoorsy app an RV that you're actually looking at purchasing at some point, you can go take someone else's and try it out. Kind of figure out if you like it.
If you figure out what type of RV you really want, Outdoorsy most likely has something very close to what you want. And then once you get that Outdoorsy rental and you experience it, you experience fun and camp and a weekend in that one rental RV, and then you're going to get your ideas of exactly what you want in your own RV.
Absolutely.
And what I like about it is Outdoorsy is all over the country. So you can pick a destination and you can find an RV close to that destination.
Right.
Or you can pick a destination and find an RV close to you. And you can go either way. Now, if you really want to experience the RV life, rent one close to you and then travel.
Right.
All right? Travel with the RV. That's where you're going to get more experience on it. I was very happy that I found one within 6 miles of my destination.
Okay, so now that I got my camera back on, what advice would you give to someone renting through Outdoorsy for the first time?
Contact the owner.
Okay.
Contact the owner via email because they can only contact you through Outdoorsy, so everything is secure. Whatever messages are sent is sent through Outdoorsy.
Right.
And then it's sent to the owner. So you got to I would recommend contacting the owner, and I would also recommend talking to other RVers with the same type of RV.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You can get a lot of research done just rolling up to the campground or Walmart or something and you see a camper there, you can ask them questions if it's a similar camper as to what you like, and in a lot of cases, there's a lot of similarities between camper and camper. Okay?
Right.
They're just set up differently, and they might be for different things.
Well, I appreciate your time and welcome to the channel. You're officially our first call-in or our first guest that we've ever had on Seasonal Stays and Campfire Days. So, but I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully we can do this again.
Oh, yes. I look forward to it, Josh. Thank you.
Absolutely. You have yourself a good one now.
You as well. Thank you.
Man, I tell you what, I'm so glad that Wrong Way had agreed to come on to this show with us and just give his experience, because he just knows how to just talk and talk and talk and talk, and it's very useful information that he actually does. So, Dave, I know that you're watching this. I thank you again for coming on and spending some time with me on the Outdoorsy app. So, with that being said, thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe down below. Leave a comment if you have used the Outdoorsy app, or if there's another app just like it that we should be checking out. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.